What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. TammyTalks here. All right, y'all. We're still rocking with the Ultimatum Queer Love. This is episode 5, In and Out of Love. First things first, a huge thank you to everybody that came, watched all the videos from last week, subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video. The comment section was cool. It was popping. We had a good time. Let's keep that energy rolling. If you're back from, I want to say last week, but I did my recaps late. So if you're back from a couple of days ago and have not yet subscribed to the channel, y'all go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy anything in this particular video, hit the like button, hop in the comment section so we can respectfully talk about everything that happened in this particular episode. So I'm going to do another disclaimer that I watch an episode, I recap an episode. I watch an episode, I recap an episode. So what that means is please don't come into the comment section and say you can't wait for me to talk about episode 8 when such and such happens, because then it ruins it for me. I can't give you guys a real genuine reaction to it. All right. So we're going to talk about episode 5. Also, shout out to Queen E, who has been doing a fabulous, amazing job with recapping this show. Y'all go give her some love in the comment section of her videos. She's been getting some comments that aren't cool. So go over there, give her some love. Queen E, y'all know who she is, but her recaps are amazing. She actually gives y'all video, like she gives you the scene that she is talking about. So y'all go over there, give her some love up on her, thumbs up her videos, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's get it started. All right, so episode 5 kind of picks back up where the last one left off, where it is the same night after they had their respective meetups with their different groups, which is weird because I thought they were all at the same place. But I guess not. I guess they were in different restaurants. I assumed they were at the same restaurant, just in different parts of it, but I guess not. So everyone's back at home, back at their apartments, and we have Xander and Yoli. So they're talking about what happened at the meetup. And Yoli is talking about how, everybody was talking about Vanessa. And Xander is like, yeah, everybody was talking about Vanessa on my end too. So Yoli was like, some information came out about Vanessa. I said, you messy bitch. There is no reason for you to insert yourself into this situation with her. There is no reason for Yoli to not only bring that up, but then want to talk about it. But here we are. So Yoli was like, I'll tell you if you want to know. I don't want to tell you. But if you want to know, I'll tell you. But no, I don't want to tell you. But you want to know, right? Do you want to know? Because I'll tell you. It's like, Yoli, messy. Oh, that made me so mad. Worry about yourself. Because to be real with you, Yoli, you really shouldn't have even been tag teaming with Lexi when it came to Vanessa. Considering that you've already been sleeping with Xander. But whatever. So Xander is like, sure, what happened? So Yoli is like, well, Vanessa and Ray had sex. And you can see a little bit of hurt on Xander's face, but it's like, because you have been messing around with Yoli too. So Xander's whole thing is, they don't want to be involved. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to have to constantly feel like they're talking about Vanessa the entire time. And I agree. So Yoli goes on to say that Vanessa said it was not romantic or sexual. It was just basically for fun. And Yoli is like, we're not here, just to have sex with people. We're here to try to make a marriage work. And I'm like, are you though? Are you? What is in my eye, y'all? Are you? So Xander said that, they don't want to talk about Vanessa. They didn't want to talk about Vanessa during the group meetup. Because Xander doesn't want to look like they are just very naive when it comes to Vanessa, but you are. You are, mister. You are. But you are though, Xander. If y'all know the reference from that, let me know down below. But you are. You're coming across very naive, very defensive over Vanessa's antics, all because you know her more than everybody else. That's fine, but Xander does have a very real, I don't want to call it an issue, but Xander does have a real, we'll say, problem with constantly coming to Vanessa's aid, even when Vanessa is in the wrong. But I get it. Don't be talking about my partner or ex, when maybe Xander feels that Vanessa's misunderstood. So they both then agree that, hey, let's go to bed. I was like, y'all going to bed, or y'all going to bed? There's definitely a difference, but they do a lot of necking themselves too. So then we're back at Ray and Vanessa's apartment. And Vanessa said it was a rough night. I said, girl, hell yeah, it was a rough night for you. You had your ass handed to you on a platter. They were like, Vanessa, here's your ass, sis. Like, they were giving it to Vanessa. Vanessa feels that Lexi had people on her side. The only person that was really on Vanessa's side was Yoli. Tiff was low-key instigating, but it was also under the air of trying to understand. But it wasn't like Lexi got everybody on her side. That's just how they felt. So Vanessa was saying how they were talking about how her and Ray hooked up. And she was like, Lexi said that you guys fucked. You guys had sex. And Ray was like, Lexi don't talk vulgar like that. She was like, well, she said my fingers were in you. Well, if they were, but Ray also said that that's what she told Lexi. So I think Vanessa is not used to people confronting her when she does things. Vanessa is not used to people like really giving it to her, because it seems that Xander is so passive and it's fine and lackadaisical when it comes to her. So Vanessa goes on to say that they did not like the answers that she gave, that it was just sex. So Vanessa was like, yeah, there's nothing romantic with this. There's nothing sexual. It was just sex. And you can see a little piece of Ray. It's like, ugh, okay. But then Ray goes on to say that, she wasn't pressured. She did what she did because she wanted to, whatever the case. Lexi and Mal back at their apartment, Lexi thinks that Vanessa is out to get her. She feels that if she would have never found out about Vanessa and confronted her about it, that she would have never slept with Ray. I don't know if I believe that. Do I think that Vanessa would have still picked Ray? Yes, because nobody else wanted her. Do I think that they probably would have still had sex? Sure. So I don't think that Vanessa is out to get you. I think that you, Lexi, are paranoid. One, because you didn't think that anything would really happen if you brought Ray onto here. But two, it really comes down to, even though Vanessa is trash and Vanessa is on here for a good time, not a long time, you're mad that it's happening in your relationship. Because I wonder if the way that you warned people about Vanessa, if Vanessa would have went with Yoli, or Vanessa would have got with Xander or anybody else, or Sam, would you still be focused on the whole, she's not here for the right reasons. She's not here for the right reasons. I'm going to get to Lexi later, but Lexi, watching you, sis, watching you. So Ma said that it's not fair to talk about Vanessa so much and she needs to let it go. I think this is turning Mal off, to be real. This is turning Mal off because I don't want to constantly talk about your ex and what your ex is doing when we're supposed to be building what we got going on right now. So they then cuddle on the couch, and I thought they agreed to not talk about Vanessa, but then Lexi says, I'm tired of her being a part of our life. And Ma was like, I keep saying Ma. I'm so sorry, y'all. Mal. I'm going to spell it differently because when I see this, I see Mal. So Mal, which is crazy because I have a cousin named Mallory, and we call him Mal sometimes. I don't know why he's not clicking for me. Nonetheless, so Mal is like, who? And Lexi is like, Vanessa. I said, girl, it's giving obsessed. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because this be real. Ray don't even like Vanessa. So it's not like you're in danger of, or like you're not going to lose Ray to Vanessa. So Aussie and Mildred. And this is when I said, Lord, have mercy. Aussie and Mildred are home. Well, Mildred's there first. Aussie comes in after. They start talking about how Lexi got into it with Vanessa. You know, Aussie is somebody that does not like conflict, does not like confrontation. Y'all saw how fidgety she was. She was ready to jump out of her skin. So there were some people in the comments saying that she doesn't like confrontation. It makes her uncomfortable. I get that, y'all. Not everybody likes confrontation. But just from me watching, because I don't like confrontation either. I'm not a very confrontational person. I'm not going to walk up on somebody and like, yada, 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 like, that's not me either. But, I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not in the chair like, oh God, oh, Jesus. Like, I'm not going to do that if two people are arguing in front of me. That's why I was like, Aussie is like, whoa. That's all I was saying. I didn't say that she wasn't valid in her feelings. I just thought like, damn, she is really uncomfortable in confrontation. Nonetheless, so Aussie is saying how nobody held back. And Mildred was like, good, say what you want. Mean that shit. Mean that shit. So Mildred then says that she got some advice from Sam about dealing with her. And Aussie looked kind of taken aback by that. Aussie actually looked like she didn't like that. Did y'all catch that? Was that just me? But Aussie looked like she did not like the fact that Mildred was talking to Sam about her. It was kind of weird. So Mildred said that she realized that she might have overreacted. Aussie then, Jekyll and Hyde, is like, I care about you. And I care about you so much, but she's trying to avoid the confrontation. She doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to talk about anything that happened. And I'm sorry, but Aussie is childish. I'm sorry, but this is a step past not wanting to. This is a step past not wanting to deal with confrontation and conflict. It's childish. It's immature the way that I'm trying to have a conversation with you about communication. I didn't feel like Mildred's tone was elevated or snarky or anything. That is the tone of her voice. And the way that Mildred was just talking to her, like, I feel like we should try to have this conversation now. So Aussie is like, well, I don't want to talk about this. Or she gives the right. Sure. And to me, I think that's condescending if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm telling you how I feel that in this instance, I felt disrespect during this instance, or like Mildred in her own way, she's trying to apologize for her tone for what happened, and Aussie being like, well, you know, I care about you. It's condescending because you're not listening to anything that I'm saying. You're negating everything I'm saying, and you're just willing to spit out anything so that we don't have to have a real adult coherent conversation. So Aussie was like, I'm trying to stay on the high. I just got out from being out with my buds, and here you come, you know, bumping the gums. And excuse me, I felt that I didn't think Mildred was doing too much in that moment. And I think Mildred always does too much, but I didn't think Mildred was doing too much in that moment. So Aussie is like, well, I don't like the tone of your voice. And Mildred was like, it's okay if I raise my voice sometimes. I'm just trying to be heard. Now, sis, Mildred, that's where I feel like you lost me a little bit. There's a difference between raising your voice because you're passionate. If y'all have been watching my YouTube videos for a while, I'm a person that when I'm talking passionately about something, my voice goes up a couple octaves and it gets high. Like, that has always happened to me. So it doesn't necessarily get loud, but my voice will, like, it elevates a couple octaves, okay? Now, Mildred just gets more, like, her voice just gets louder, just the volume gets louder, but she's not always necessarily yelling. She's just talking loud, which I think detaches, what am I trying to say? Detracts, takes away from what she is actually saying. So Aussie is like, I don't like, the tone that you're having. So next thing you know, Aussie is like, I think I just want to leave. I'm not ready to have this confrontation with you. I don't want to talk about it. And it's like, what don't you want to talk about? Because it started off with Mildred trying to apologize to you in her own way, but it starts off with Mildred trying to apologize to you, and we're trying to get to a point where we're trying to figure out each other's communication style. And instead of Aussie being an adult and being like, okay, let's see what we can figure out, let's try to work this out, you put on your shoes and you leave. Like, Aussie legit leaves. So as she's leaving, Mildred was like, I'm not chasing after her. So we see production go out. We then see Aussie, and she's outside, and she done threw her mic down. Childish. I'm sorry, but I think Aussie is extremely childish. At 42 years old, the fact that you can't sit down, and I'm sorry, y'all, but this is not, she doesn't like conflict. Conflict is a part of life. Confrontation is a part of life. Mildred didn't come in at her yelling and doing all that stuff. They were sitting down. They were having a conversation. I don't think Mildred got super loud with her, but I can understand how Mildred felt disrespected if I'm trying to have a conversation and you trying to spit game back at me that you're not even fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Aussie talked a lot of mess. She talked a lot of stuff to get Mildred to pick her, knowing good and goddamn well that she wasn't serious about this process. And I told y'all that because remember I told y'all that first episode when they were all, introducing, getting to know the process, she was hanging on her and holding her and just wrapped around her and doing everything she can to hang on to her. Basically on some, I'm really just here for you and nothing else. I'm going to come out of this on the other side. I'm not trying to rock and roll with you for real. So Mildred said that she has been so into the process that she hasn't really noticed how Aussie is. And I think that Mildred came into this and Mildred just wants to be married. Mildred wants to find somebody and Mildred wants to be married. She wants to be a wife. And the fact that Aussie spit some game to her on the third date and was like, yeah, I'm down for marriage now. Mildred fell for that, and then she's been holding on to that and hasn't really seen Aussie for who she is. So the next morning, Aussie comes back and is in a tizzy packing, y'all. Aussie was running through that house like she was a fugitive and she was trying to get the hell out of town. She was throwing shit in and she's running through. She's packing. She said in a confessional that last night was the last straw and she needs to prioritize her mental health. Let me stop there. Yes, your mental health should come above everything. But at the same time, Aussie, everything can't be about you. And that's what Sam has said before, too. Whenever there's a conflict or confrontation or something, Aussie has to go hang out with her friends and, meditate and do all this other stuff. And you have to operate on her time only. Also, you probably need to be by yourself. You don't need to be in a relationship because you want everything to go on your terms, the way that you want it, in the time frame that you want it handled in, at the tone you want it in, with the words that you want it said in. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. So she said that Mildred couldn't communicate effectively. You can't either. Then she says that she's not running away. She's taking care of herself for the first time. No, you are running away. You are running away. That conversation was not loud. Now, the conversation in the bathroom, that was rude. with the bathroom and when she was ironing, yes, that conversation, sure. But this last one, I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. That's just me. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. So she writes a letter and just said that she realizes that, she isn't ready for marriage. Marriage isn't for her. Girl, you would, Aussie, you will never be there. You will never be there. You won't. It's because you're not open to letting yourself be there. See, Aussie looks at marriage as like a death sentence almost. You're stuck with this person forever. She said it last week when she was with her friend. That's how she looks at it. She doesn't look at it as building a life with somebody, navigating through life with your person by your side. Aussie looks at it as, I'm chained to you and I'm with you forever. It's very finite. It's daunting to her. So I think that Aussie needs to be by herself for a while and really figure out what it is that she wants. Or you need to get with somebody that does not want marriage. There are two options that you can take here. So she leaves this note that is on some, thank you for the experience. Sorry I had to end this way. No accountability for anything. So Mildred comes home, finds the note, and I think Mildred thought it was like an apology at first, till she went in the bedroom and saw that Aussie's clothes were gone. So then Mildred was like, look, she left the damn basket in the way. Girl, kick that basket back in the corner where it was. Don't even trip about that. So Mildred realizes that it's not me. This is an Aussie issue. It is an Aussie issue, but both of y'all were wrong in this situation. You knew how... I'm sorry, y'all. My face itches, allergies. So you knew how Aussie was. You know what her triggers were. Sam basically told you, and you still came in with the same approach, right? I think a lot of it is Aussie, but some of it was your communication initially too. It was. So she then gets mad and said that Aussie didn't take out the trash. She's like, it's tampons here. Girl, if you don't take that trash out, take the garbage out, because there's nothing you can do about it now. There's nothing Aussie's going to do about it now. She then said that, maybe I should call Sam and have her come take out Aussie's trash. She's used to picking up behind her, so you don't have no garbage up in there, Mildred. Nothing in that garbage can is yours. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't act like Aussie is the only one that filled up this garbage can. So she then starts like she wants to act like she doesn't care. But she does. She does. She starts to cry. She feels abandoned. She said that everybody else in her life has abandoned her. I think she said her mom passed away. Her dad walked out on her. Her grandparents have left her, passed away. Her ex... Who was she? Was she married to a man? Was she married to her ex-wife? Because she keeps saying she was married before. So her ex-spouse has passed away. So, and I'm only saying that because she said she's the one with the kid, right? I mean, I guess they could have did like IVF. Nonetheless, forget my train of thought. Her ex-partner has passed away. So, has walked out on her. So she feels abandoned. But it's very important in this moment for Mildred to realize that, yes, a lot of this was Aussie and not being ready and avoidance, lack of communication. But Mildred, you have to work on the way that you communicate. If somebody's telling you it is your tone, they don't like that you're getting louder and stuff like that, you have to take that into account. I have been in situations where I'm talking to somebody and they have told me that it's my tone, and I have to be like, okay, I don't mean to come across that way, but Mildred leaned into that, and that just wasn't the correct approach for Aussie. So I feel bad for her because she was saying how she just doesn't want to be there alone. Well, you're going back to Tiff in like another 2 days. So then we have Xander and Yoli. So they are meeting Xander's friend, Blair. Long story short, Blair never saw her for Vanessa. Okay. But Blair points out that Xander and Yoli seem very comfortable together. They feel like, Vanessa might not have been the right person for Xander, but that Yoli seems very genuine. So Yoli goes to the restroom, and Xander feels that Yoli and the experiment have both changed their life. So Xander's starting to fall in love. They have not told each other that they love each other yet, because that's a really big step and it's scary and all this other stuff. Because we were just in relationships and it's only been 2 weeks. But Xander, we know she's going to eventually get there. We see Sam and Tiff there in the car talking about the sexiest name and the least sexiest name. They're talking about what Disney princess is the best, whatever. Lexi and Mal. So they meet with Lexi's parents. And this was a really good scene because it really showed me Mal don't want you, Lexi. Mal just wants to be married if it makes sense for her. Because if somebody says, I could do marriage, sure. That person is not ready for marriage. Nonetheless, so Lexi's parents, Lexi tells her parents that she is ready for marriage and that Ray is not. She said that Mal has shown her something different. Mal feels that not that she does not want marriage, she just wants the timing to be right financially. She wants to feel that, she wants to feel special with the person that she's with. She doesn't want it to be that you fall in love so easily and you fall in love with everybody right away. I want to know that you want to marry me because I am just it for you, pound for pound. Hands down, I am the person that you feel is for you. That's why you want to marry me, not just because you're in love again for, the 4th time this year. So they start explaining how, well, before that, so they asked, how was Ray? And Lexi was like, I don't know, I haven't talked to her. And it's like, girl, yes, you have. Quit that lying shit. Tell your mama how Ray is. So she's like, well, Ray has sex with somebody else. And I'm like, damn, Lexi. You know what I mean? I feel like, why did you have to tell anybody that? That's why Ray should have never told her. Ray should have never told her. At least not right now in the process. It should have been something that they talked about when they got back together. Back together in the process. So then they start talking about how my ex is with her ex is with this ex with that ex. And the dad was like, all right, here we go. Her daddy was like, some tea. Finally, get into it. So basically, Lexi just wants to be married. At 24 years old, Lexi just wants to be married because she keeps saying we can figure out everything as we go. We can figure out everything as we go. Y'all still gotta have some shit in place. You know what I mean? To say that we can get engaged now and we can figure out the day-to-day later, I don't think that's the best way to do things. But I'm not married. I have never been engaged. So I'm just speaking from what I would think logically makes sense. But I would not want to get engaged to somebody and then say we'll figure out all the details and the day-to-day and all that stuff later. Because I think the important part that's missing is y'all are in a trial marriage. Y'all are living with people for 3 weeks in a very structured, very I promise I can say the word. A very structured, maybe I can't say structured. Structured. A very structured, it's early. Don't mind me, I'm trying to film this before work. But a very structured and strategic, situation. So it's not like a typical dating scenario. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, Lexi just wants to be a wife. Lexi just wants to be married. And at 24, girl, I feel like you can really take the time to find somebody that is truly, truly for you and wants to be married. Nonetheless, her father is a jeweler, and he was like, look, I've sold rings to people from all different types of walks of life and all different stages in their relationship. I've sold people the rings that have been together for 5 days. I've sold people rings that have been together for years on years. He says some people that are the least likely that you think will stay together go the long haul. And then there are some people that you feel are perfectly matched and will truly make it that don't. So he was like, there's nobody can tell you when you are ready, right? So her mom is like, what's most important for them is that Lexi is happy and is with somebody that they genuinely feel is good for her. So after Mal leaves, they like Mal. They say that they really like her. She seems like she would be a good fit. But they're like, but what about Ray? How do you feel about Ray? Lexi feels that she still likes Ray. She still has feelings for Ray. Still loves Ray, but she feels it's important to be there all in for Mal right now. And I said, girl, I don't know why, because Mal does not seem to like you that much. She doesn't. Ray and Vanessa. Vanessa's dad comes. They meet up with him. She was like, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Papa's here. I said, who, child? Vanessa is a lot, y'all. Vanessa is a lot. So basically, Ray is saying that she does want to get married at some point, but she wants to she's not ready yet. She doesn't know when she will be ready for marriage, but she wants marriage. Vanessa's dad seems very unserious about marriage, and I think that's where Vanessa gets it from. But her dad is basically like, you need to put yourselves first and not live for someone else's happiness. So really, don't marry somebody just because they want to get married to you. You should both be 100% going into this. And sometimes, stepping away is what's best for both of you. Xander and Yoli are making tie-dye shirts. I said, throwback. Okay. Xander feels calm and at peace with Yoli. She said that the stability is fun to her. It's foreign to you. It's not fun, it's foreign. It's something that's new because, Vanessa's claim to fame is that she don't want stability. So Xander said that she does not fall in love very easily, but the experience is working so well for her. Yoli said that she's scared of falling in love with her so soon. They both say I love you to each other. Mal and Lexi. So they meet Mal's friend Alicia, who was not going, was like, what the hell is this? What is going on? But she was like, blink twice if you if you're not safe. Mal was like, this is not the Get Out movie. Lexi, girl, have you not seen that movie? Because you should have been offended. Lexi should have been offended as hell by that, but she clearly hasn't seen the movie. So her friend said that Lexi being 24 years old is a cute red flag. I said, ooh, the shade. But Alicia basically said that people sometimes confuse Mal's kindness for something else when she's just a good person. So she was like, people sometimes think that it's something else going on with them when Mal is just being nice. She also wants Lexi, don't negate, don't forget, don't discount Mal's love for Yoli. Really on some, don't get your hopes up, because she could just really be being nice to you. I will say this, we've seen them cuddle, but we ain't seen them women kiss. We know that they're not having sex. So I think Mal is just kind of appeasing her by talking about the marriage thing. I don't think that Mal likes her. Sam and Tiff. Sam's friend put Tiffany in her place real quick, so we meet Natasha. Her friend wants to know, what is this? What's going on? Why aren't they telling their friends, I'm going on, me and so-and-so are going on this process. Okay, so I'm going to be dating someone else. I want you to meet this new person. So basically her friend is like, this doesn't make sense. If your initial relationship is not working, break it off. She says in a confessional that Mildred and Tiff have a very on-again, off-again relationship, and it's not healthy because their communication is trash, which we can see. So her friend then was like, how do y'all sleep? They're like, oh, we sleep in the bed together. And Natasha's like, so y'all haven't kissed or had sex or anything? Hold her hand. Tiff was like, no, I don't want to hold her hand. So her friend was like, should I hold her hand? See, this is harmless. Tiff feels, what is the point in holding her hand if it's not going to lead to anything? Natasha asked Sam, look, if she were to kiss you or hold you or cuddle you, would you turn away? And Sam said no. And then Tiff is like, oh, Sam basically was like, she can come get it. Now, Sam is DTF, okay? Xander and Yoli, they're laying out on the beach. I feel like they just have sexual attractions to each other. Xander gives Yoli a ring pop. Hooray! I said, not the blue one. You gonna eat that blue candy? Your mouth gonna be blue. Sam and Tiff, it's their last night together. Tiff thanks her for the space to be herself and to be vulnerable. Sam asks, why, are you going to cry when I leave? They now have a good friendship. Tiff is like, I ain't crying over you yet. So I'm like, oh, Tiff can actually be somewhat of a fun person. Girl, what the fuck? Took you long enough to get there. So Tiff then feels, in a confessional, she feels that she might have made a mistake at the choice by, putting Sam in the position that she put her in, because she's now more comfortable with Sam and wishes that they would have gotten there a lot sooner. That's your fault. That is completely your fault. But I'm glad that you acknowledged that and took some accountability for that. So then Tiff was like, I want you to spoon me. So they have a cute little scene where, they can laugh about it. Ray and Vanessa are packing to leave. Their interactions are so awkward. Everything they do is awkward together. I can't take it. I'm glad this is our last time seeing them together. Vanessa thinks that moving back in with the exes is going to be heavy. Yeah. Because Xander done found somebody. And you haven't. Ray is excited to see Lexi again, but she knows that it's going to be very intense and she's feeling some anxiety behind it. Like, I like Ray, but Ray, you did this. You picked Vanessa knowing, and it was like not even just knowing how Lexi felt about her, but seeing how everybody else called her out. But again, Ray went with Vanessa because neither one of them were serious or are serious about marriage, right? So Vanessa said that she wants to make sure her conversation with Xander isn't misleading them to think that she wants to get married. I said, trash. How you still trash? 3 weeks later, still trash. But to be real, it's not necessarily Vanessa being trash. Vanessa's being real, and Xander needs to see that. Vanessa does not want marriage. See that, know that, understand that, move accordingly, Xander. Mal and Lexi, they talk about soulmates. Lexi is all in. She sees Mal as a soulmate. We have heard her tell Mal, I love you. Mal has not responded. She now feels that Mal is one of her soulmates. Mal all but laughs at her. Keep up, Lexi. Keep up, sis. So they go get in the bed. And Lexi is like lighting candles. Basically, it was like, girl, I'm ready to fuck. Boom. Legs wide open. That's what Lexi was giving. Meanwhile, Mal was like, I pull away from people that I love. I'm trying to protect myself. She don't like you. We ain't even seen y'all kiss on the cheek. She does not like you. And then finally, we get Xander and Yoli. Yoli said it's weird for her to be in this space because she didn't have a bad relationship with Mal. She just wants marriage to come a lot sooner. Quit playing with y'all relationships. I'm going to say it every single episode. Because just like season 1, y'all are playing with fire and then are shocked when you get burned. Xander says she is tired of feeling like she's not enough for Vanessa and feels that Vanessa should want to marry her. She don't, Xander. Get over it. Move on. You feel disrespected. You feel that, she should be doing different things for you. You feel that you know that. Respect yourself enough to leave her. Somebody will find you, you will find somebody, I should say, that is going to love you and want to get married, and that won't feel that if y'all have kids, her kids are her kids and your kids are your kids. That should have been the ultimate, the last straw. That should have been the ultimate strike for you. Respect yourself, Xander, because if you don't respect yourself, Vanessa never will. Yoli is worried about Vanessa getting back into Xander's head. And then Xander is worried that Yoli and Mal will have an amazing 3 weeks together and she'll lose her. And then they have some goodbye sex. And that was episode 5. This recap is way longer than I intended it to be. But go ahead, if you have not already subscribed to the channel. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this recap. Hop in the comment section, y'all. Share with a friend. All that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video for episode 6. Peace.